Listen to this.
Okay.
The Republican vice presidential nomination included J.D. Vance, and he dropped an Easter egg of white nationalism. An Easter egg. Quoting, I know there was not the same red meat sort of blood and soil nationalism you might hear in, I don't know, other parallel universe Republican conventions. So now we're into parallel universes. But I do think there were sort of Easter eggs of white nationalism in his speech. One of the things that stuck out to me was when he started talking about what America is. He said America's not just an idea. It's a group of people with a shared history and a common future. The thing about America is it's not a group of people with shared history. In fact, I think a lot of people would argue it's quite the opposite. It's a lot of people with different histories and different heritages. Oh my gosh. And then she goes into how he wants to be buried in Kentucky, but not in San Diego, where his wife's foreign parents are from. And it's like, these people have literally gone insane. Literally gone insane.
Again, gone is an interesting way. I don't know that they were ever sane, right?
Yeah,
like, was there ever a moment of sanity that I may have missed that show that they put on?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. And here's a thing, and I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I'm just going to throw this theory out here for a second. While I, of course, mock them relentlessly for these crazy theories, and honestly, some people on the right are coming up with crazy theories, and I mock them a little bit as well. I just feel like everybody comes up with crazy theories. At least that's how I would normally react in this situation. This particular story, though, is so bonkers. It's so hard to believe that they just were like, I guess let's leave that roof unattended. Like, these things are so crazy that I give a little bit more grace on conspiracy theories here than I normally would. Do you buy that, Glenn?
Yeah, but that one at least makes sense, doesn't it, Pat? I mean, the one, we didn't go up on that roof because it had a slant to it. I mean, you want to talk about safety first.
I know.
Holy cow.
I know.
It had a slant to it. Yeah, like a 3-degree grade.
And forget the fact that
nuts.
it had a slope. What about, I don't know, station somebody at the ladder that leads to the roof? Could you do that?
Right.
You're so worried about your agents not being able to stand or sit or lay on that slope that you wanted them inside the building instead, but you couldn't put somebody out where the ladder is that leads to the roof? Kind of insanity.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but the New York Times had a video they put out of this whole incident, and they showed the two pairs of snipers from the Secret Service or police on the two buildings. One of the sniper teams was set up in a position in which a tree blocked that building. This is why the farther away sniper team is actually the one with the successful shot. But like, why on earth would you set up in a position in which there is a tree in between you and the one elevated position in the entire field? Like, it's impossible.
Because we have Sniper Sam and Sniper Sid, right? Sniper Sid, you're there, right, with the Secret Service. I'm there with Sniper Sam and Sniper Sid.
This is bizarre.
Who's running that place? And then the other one that just gets me is they're not talking about a conspiracy of COVID. He's got COVID. Come on, how many times has that guy had COVID? I don't know anybody who has COVID anymore and is like, oh, I'm just wiped out with COVID. I just can't handle it. I think that guy could die in his sleep in the next week. It's like, he'll have to decide if he's going to die or not. He's going to have to decide, will he drink the medicine that we give him every night or not? Because it'll be his decision. I mean, I just think that they're serious about getting rid of him.
And to add to this, it was immediately after an interview he gave in which for the first time he opened up the possibility of stepping down for a health crisis. Like, it was literally the last thing he did before the COVID isolation was to say, if a big health crisis came along, well, then he went and, then he went and got into people's faces at a Mexican restaurant and gave them all COVID. But after that, he went into isolation. Right. I mean, it is every single story is impossible to believe that's where we are.
So what happens from here, Pat? What do you? I mean, I think that there is a real chance. Remember, Abraham Lincoln was elected the nominee by the Republican Party on the 50th ballot.
Yeah.
And that's when they all just started going crazy. And they're like, I don't know, the guy with a wart on his face. And I could see that happening with Michelle Obama. They go through and they're just doing an open convention and they can't decide on somebody. And there's somebody's like, Michelle Obama. And everybody's like, yay. And the next ballot, Michelle Obama wins and she's drafted. I mean, I just think that's so plausible.
Except I don't think she's going to run. She doesn't want it. She does not want it. She hates this country too much to do that kind of work. She loves her life too much to do that kind of work.
But if the hatred of the country is a big feature, which
she could continue to destroy it.
Reason to do it.
Yes, but the other aspect is how much she loves the life of a $100 million deal from Netflix and all the fruits of that deal. And the life they're living now, she doesn't want to give that up.
And I think we can all realize that she deserves that life, and she continue.
She does.
She should
Yes,
continue
please.
to enjoy it
It's a really good
forever.
point, Stu.
There's no reason
It's
to get
only because-
involved in politics,
Only
Michelle.
reason you're
You're
saying
above
that-
this now.
Yeah. Stu just doesn't want to lose the $6,000 bet.
Yeah, no, 6. What do you keep inflating this? It's 3, and you know it's 3.
It's Biden inflation. I don't want to keep going up, but it's Biden inflation.
I think very much you do at this point, and we're at the point almost where I can't win the bet. That's the problem, because I had it as Biden would be on the ticket, and you had Michelle, and there is this in-between ground where Biden steps down and it's Kamala Harris, and neither of us win, and we're getting into that ground right now, and it does not make me comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing to me is that if you look at this with Michelle Obama, what you just said, she loves her lifestyle too much. She hates America so much, but she loves her lifestyle more than she hates America, so she would never do it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Look at Donald Trump. He's got an amazing lifestyle. They've destroyed it. They've destroyed his family. They've hauled him in front of court after court after court, and then they shoot him, and he still gets up on the stage and says, I'm running because we got to stop this insanity.
Yeah.
I mean,
Big difference.
which one?
Big difference.
Yeah, what a difference.
Yeah. It does look like, I'm sure you guys mentioned this earlier, it does look like this weekend might be it, though, for the Biden campaign. I don't know. That's what they're saying. And there's a pretty detailed, where did I see this? It's, I don't know, MSNBC, I think. No, it was Newsmax. It was Newsmax. They were talking about this really detailed plan now to open up the convention and bring in Kamala Harris, and she's already pre-approved her running mate, supposedly. And also there would be Gavin Newsom and Gretchen Whitmer. And those are the 3 that are going to battle it out on the floor at the convention
I know,
in
but
August. You buy that?
I think it goes right to Kamala Harris, honestly, which is not an exciting opportunity for the Democrats. But that sort of plan is the type of thing that could lead to Glenn winning this stupid bet, which I never agreed to. Which is that
Wait.
that Glenn that you have those 3 fighting it out. It gets so ugly, no one can make a decision, and then Michelle comes in over the top and says, "Oh, here I am." She comes down from the sky with like clouds and light beams.
And people are like, look at those arms.
And
Look at her arms.
Look at those arms.
They need to be in the Oval Office, those arms.
That's the only place they can live. And then she winds up coming in over the top and just wiping all of this out and winning. I still think it's a long
She's
shot
not gonna do it.
for it to happen, but there is some scenario where it gets so chaotic they need something like that. But I will say, I mentioned this to Glenn, I think off the air, Glenn. I don't know if we talked about it on the air yet today. I'm very confused. It was a very late night last night. But all of the reporting about the Biden stuff, about him stepping down this weekend, is all nonsense. It's all like, one headline from the New York Times yesterday was, Biden now is warming to the belief that he may have to step down. that isn't saying anything. What do you mean he's warming to the May? What do you mean? This is like one of those old school Al Gore statements that's filled with so many disclaimers. It doesn't mean anything about the climate.
Right.
It's just like, it's all this stuff. It's all leaked by Nancy Pelosi. She wants him out, so she's leaking every negative thing about him. His own people inside, like his close advisors that everyone says are the people that are around him, are all saying this stuff is all fake. It's just all included in the paragraph, like paragraph 12 of these stories that are just Nancy Pelosi screeds against this guy. And the New York Times wants him out, and the Washington Post wants him out, and MSNBC wants him out, and CNN wants him out. So they're just all running with it. I mean, he may very well get pushed out by all this pressure. It may work. But like, they have a plan. It is very consistent with what the left does when they want an outcome, which is lie and leak and then force the person out with the pressure. I don't know that he'll survive this. Almost nobody can. Can't remember a politician who's survived this much pressure. The only one I can remember is Rod Blagojevich.
Donald Trump.
Well, Trump is a good example. No, it's a good example, actually, because Trump, they hit him with everything, but it was opposition pressure, right? It was, well, they're
wasn't
always
his own party.
But Blagojevich
Yes.
was hit,
Yes.
in his state and by everybody to the point that he got to a 4% approval rating. 4. It's the lowest I've ever seen of any. I think Jeffrey Epstein might have 5, right? Like 4% is about as low as I've ever seen for a public figure.
Which is
stuck
also
it out
his
the whole
dating
time.
age.
It was.
So,
Oh, people, no.
oh, that's just wrong. Okay.